Morning. Morning. Okay. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back. Looking forward to an exciting 2026. And why don't we just go around the room, quickly everybody introduce themselves for this meeting. I'll start with you, Laura.
Karen, sorry. You just have to start by reading the governor's orders.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Where are those?
It should be on the agenda.
I pursuant? Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, this meeting will be conducted in person and via remote means, in accordance with applicable law. This means that members of the public body, as well as members of the public, may access this meeting in person or via virtual means. In-person attendance will be at the location listed at the top of this agenda, and it is possible that some or all members of the public body may attend remotely. With in-person attendance consisting of members of the public, this may be accessed remotely via the Teams join the meeting now today. So, welcome. Thank you. All right, why don't we start by going around the room and have everybody introduce themselves. Laura?
Lara Crawford, Economic Development Coordinator.
Islam?
Islam Ilibin.
Mike Carroll.
Jenny Gingras, Director of Planning.
Karen Chapman, Coordinator for 95 Chamber.
Dave Bagden, Community Advocate Newspaper.
Fred Lenaro, Community Development Director.
Christy Williams, Town Manager.
Sandy?
Sandy Coker, Human Power Solutions.
Scott?
Scott Riley, Economic Development Member.
And is that Dan? Dan?
Dan Merrill, Lanco Service Corporation.
Welcome, everyone. Okay, I guess we'll start with the approval of minutes. And we've got 3 sets to approve, correct?
Yes.
So, is there a motion to approve the November 4th? Can we do them all at once, or do we have to do it separately? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the November 4th, 2025, December 2nd, 2025, and December 16th, 2025 minutes? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Thank you, Dave.
Second.
Seconded by Sandy. And can we go around the room for a vote? Laura?
I don't vote.
You don't vote. Eslam?
Ilibin, yes.
Carroll, yes.
Gingras, yes.
Karen Chapman, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Lenaro, yes.
Williams, yes.
Sandy?
Coker, yes.
Scott?
Riley, yes.
Mayor, yes.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, we'll start with committee reports, which up front is EDC awards with Dave Bagden and I. Let me pass out.
Thank you.
So just want to confirm a few things, some final details this morning in preparation for January 30th. First of all, congratulations, Laura Crawford did confirm the Undersecretary of the Commonwealth, and she's the Undersecretary of Business Strategies, Zenobia, and good luck to the person who's going to be pronouncing her last name. Is it Muchala? I'm not sure.
I will make sure that we know how to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The award recipients have all been approved at our virtual meeting a couple of weeks ago. Pulte Homes was confirmed for the Sustainability Award. So, Laura, I just have a question. Is Westborough TV been in contact with all of them?
Yeah. One second. You missed Pickering and Son.
Oh, gosh, yes, I did. So sorry.
Laura, Shelby said she's waiting to be let in.
Okay.
Karen Henderson released a little update saying that she was, had contacted most of them, was still working on Brio 33, I believe.
Okay. Thank you. I did miss Pickering. Okay. So we're in pretty good shape for that. Okay, great. I just want to go over the budget just to confirm so that we can start reaching out for sponsors for the event too. So I reached out to Simply Delicious Catering. In your packet is the proposed menu and cost with an estimate of $1,097.20. We planned for 100 people. I will believe that most of us will agree there was so much food left over. Too much food left over. So I did plan for about 50. If you feel like you want me to up that, that's fine. In my opinion, people just don't eat a lot in the morning anymore. They look for the coffee and they might have a little something, but I leave that open to the committee to decide if you're fine with the estimate, or if you'd like me to up it to more people. I'm happy to do that.
I think it
There was
makes,
so much food left over last year that, yeah, this looks great.
Okay, thank you. All right, I will confirm with them and confirm. The only thing I need to confirm with the caterer is the number of tables that will be set up and if they can get access into the hall for 6:30 a.m., I think. Laura, who do we talk to over there?
Okay, the hall is already confirmed.
Okay,
We're all set there.
and access by 6:30?
We'll just make sure we reach out to.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
make
take
sure we
care-
reach out to facilities.
Just like I
director.
did last year, I'll take
Yeah.
care of all that.
Thank you so much.
The only,
Appreciate it.
can I back up? I'm sorry.
Yep.
The only question I'd have, not the food, certainly, I think I agree with everybody that said that, is maybe coffee-ish. I don't know if they could replenish if we have to. I don't know how that would work.
Did you run out of coffee last year?
I don't remember we did, but also you doubled the quantity, I think, if you figured it for 100 people as opposed to 50 for coffee.
Okay, I can speak to you
That
about
would be about the
coffee.
only thing
Yep.
I could see us maybe, being a coffee drinker, sorry.
Planning ahead.
Well, the food, I would say, was
Good
fine.
catch. Good catch, Fred.
Great, thanks. I will make sure I'll talk to her about that. Laura, I saw that you confirmed with Christine McShane. Did she confirm the same price yet?
Yes.
Okay, so $500. So you reached out to me about the cost of Crown Trophy Awards.
I have, it's $68, just,
Shocking, since it was $89 last year.
they're 68.
And they're identical?
I don't know. Are they identical to what we
Yep.
ordered? Wow, he's
I don't think they
never
were-
gone backwards. in
Were they
cost.
89?
Yes, last year.
Okay.
So that was what was of concern to me because I've been ordering awards and I've never seen them go backwards in price.
Yeah, we just want to double check they're identical, I think.
Yeah.
I checked yesterday, they're identical. And in fact, I have the proofs here also to be
That's
approved.
awesome.
And
That's
I
great.
confirmed 68.
Okay, super. Thank you. And where are we with Curry Printing?
So I spoke to Curry yesterday, let them know, I have to get to them. I let them know that we just confirmed this keynote. So I have to get them the material, her bio and headshots for
Right.
the whatever. And then I will get out invitations and we'll do the name tags and stuff like last year as well.
Perfect. And the only other thing too is according to the reconciliation report from last year, there was $1,546. So what do we do when it comes to recruit sponsors? Is it $200 that we want to do again this year? Just to cover our costs for everything for this year, or how do we approach that? What is the goal for the balance? Just to cover the costs of this year's costs?
I believe that's always been the goal.
Okay.
Just cover the cost.
Okay, great.
But if
So
we have a little extra, I don't think that's a problem.
No.
you speak my language.
I'm just saying, just so we hit, we try to get a little bit going into the next year,
Okay.
so it's not a struggle.
So the second page has the list of the sponsors from last year. So,
I mean, I know that the Tatnick and Community Advocate will be back in.
Chambers back in. Yep.
Human Power Solutions is back in.
Thank you.
You can throw Lanco in there too.
Thank you.
And a class, they'll support 200, 300.
Thank you very much. Okay, great.
You're almost done.
Looking good. Scott, can you send your logo to Laura for the invitation for the
Of
sponsorship?
course, yes.
And Alanko, same thing, please. Human Power, I know you have, but you should have everybody else's from last year. I just have to make sure you have the updated logo for the chamber.
There may be a couple on this list that aren't going to renew.
Yeah, I saw
due
that
to
too.
Businesses moving, things like that. So
Yeah.
we probably want to be thinking about other people that, we might want to tap as well.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, if everybody on the committee could bring one or two, that would probably get us there.
yep. Okay. Yeah, there's maybe one or two that will probably say no. I think there's a list of sponsors from previous years that can be reached out to too. Okay, and that being said, Sandy, do you and Laura work on the script or for the awards or PowerPoint presentation? Yes?
Yep, Laura and
Okay.
I will work on that. Yeah, for sure. And also with the sponsors, we need to this week reach out because we're a couple weeks away from the awards. So
Yep.
if people can reach out by Friday, so we can at least get an idea of what we're going to be bringing in, that would be great.
Yes.
I just want to say, I have an invoice that I can send to folks so that for their own filling.
Thank you.
So I just
Appreciate
need
that.
names and emails, contacts, et cetera.
Yep.
Should we go down the list and just see who was responsible for who's on this list, like Bowditch?
I don't know who did Bowditch last year.
There's no, I'm assuming that was 200. There's no number next to it.
They never, no, nobody reached out. Nobody,
Oh.
I don't
just
know.
on
They,
there. Okay.
they did not. That's why there's nothing there for them.
But I think that makes 2,700 with them as two, unless I'm dreaming one.
No, you're right.
Okay. So
No, they were not added into the 2,700.
do you want to check the math on that?
Okay. I mean, I'll check my Excel spreadsheet.
Sure.
Yeah, they would have been.
There's a contact list that I have from Holly from last year for some of these people that we can reach out to, that I'm happy to share with everybody. And then we can, Karen Henderson was on the committee, but Avidia Bank was on this, which I'm happy to reach out to for that. I'll reach out to Avidia Bank and Middlesex Savings Bank. Kelleher and Sadowski was Todd Alexander. Anybody want to reach out?
I can reach out to Todd. I can reach out to Linda at Release.
Jim Ball.
I can
I'll
go.
do that one.
Okay. Chris Egan, I'm happy to do it. Linda at Release, I'm happy to do that one.
She said she would do it.
Oh, sorry. And then Atlantic Management, no, I don't. Not for me to reach out to on that one. Okay. And then it was Josh Lee Smith from Bowditch and Dewey, but they didn't do it last year, you said?
We
Okay.
never got any. I don't know if I thought they had agreed to do it. I believe that I sent an invoice, but we did not receive any funds.
Okay.
And Dave, you're right. 2,500 is what we brought in.
And then Bowditch, Rod Shaffert, Bowden Construction. I mean, I know Rod. I'll ask him. Okay. So we're in pretty decent shape if we can get a few more anyways, so. Any other questions? All right. That is our report. Next is Islam and Dan for business assistance grants. Who wants to start?
Do you want me to pull that up? So, I mean, Fred sent the final version, right?
Did everybody get time to look at it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's better we just hear the comments if
Okay.
there is anything we add,
Okay.
instead of just to go through everything back.
You could share your screen, we'll go right up.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Aslam, if I could, what I would suggest that, to me, this looks like three different conversations. One is about the requirements. The other one was the rubric itself, and then there was a third thing, kind of. There's like three different things here.
Eligibility requirements and
Right.
guidelines, eligibility filters, and then the rubric, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of separated in that way.
it is. Do you want to start on each section, or how do you want to approach this?
Karen, can I put my comments on the record?
Yep.
Prior to us getting started. So my comments are, on section 3, the improved ROI tracking framework. Is instead of asking for confidential sales and revenue numbers, we may want to look at the last 2 to 3 years of trends and get percentages. I just think that, we should look if they're on the upswing or the downswing, but not really get into the nitty gritty. The clawback clause removal, it's a big headache of paying back a grant. So if we're diligent in the qualifications to apply and it matches, that shouldn't be an issue. So the recommendation was asked to be remove that clause. On the new business qualification, pass and fail, a 3-year lease is a lengthy lease. We might want to look at that and make an adjustment there. Businesses open 4 days a week and 1 weekend will eliminate those businesses that are Monday through Friday. So I think we definitely want to revisit that. So sometimes, that they're not open on Saturdays or Sundays. And then the time frame to open, sometimes that's not in their control due to permitting or, delays in whatever the case may be. So it might not be realistic for a new business to utilize the grant right away. They could have signage that's at the end of when they open. So we might want to look at that as well. 100% of the ask might not be realistic for a new business either, depending on the size of the grant. So these are just things to be thinking about and feedback that I've gotten. The rubric scoring, the lease question is in the pass fail. If it stays here, we can just remove it from the rubric or remove from the pass fail. And we could offer more points for a longer term lease. So we could have some flexibility there. 75 match might be too high. We might want to consider a 50% match on that. And for the existing business rubric, same questions on the length of the lease and the same question on how many days open and when. So those are my comments. I just wanted to put those on the record.
Yep. A lot to digest there.
Yeah, that's a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Comments, feedback, anybody else? I had one comment on the kind of businesses that can apply. I saw in parentheses, are we limiting to what kind of businesses can apply? It said entertainment, there's professional services, so I guess I had a question about that. Is it open to any business to apply?
I don't, go ahead, yes. I don't want
I
to
think
speak
it has to be for profit, but
Okay.
there is nothing say which kind of business. This is what was been on the website.
Yep. So that was a question, yes, so
Yeah.
thank you. So nonprofits cannot apply?
No.
Okay. And I think the other thing is my comment from the last assistance grant. Is it in the criteria, which I think it was on the website, that you have to have an established business location? So that young man that did come to apply, who was living at home, is that on the website too?
Maybe if we back up a step too.
Okay.
So I can give a little clarification. And it actually might be helpful if we go to the pass fail thing, because that's kind of what we're talking about right now, right? So previously, what had happened that myself, the finance director, and the economic development coordinator have reviewed the applications, but we've really reviewed them for completeness. We haven't, as long as there was a for-profit business, we haven't really gotten to the point where we would deny an application. So in that particular case, I think collectively, we didn't think it necessarily qualified, but we also gave them the option to come to the committee and have the committee rule on that. What I think Eslam and Dan are suggesting here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that once the committee agrees on this, staff would look at this, and if they don't meet these requirements, the pass-fail thing, that we wouldn't even bring it to the committee.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That sounds like a good
There
plan.
may need to be an appeal process though, because I
Well-
can see that there could be bias, seen as bias by whoever's applying, that it didn't get to the committee.
Well, so that's why I want to, and I don't know this will be all settled today. I think that it's important that we get direction, or staff gets direction on how you want to proceed with this particular part of that, especially like the optional stuff. Again, it's up to the committee. If you feel strongly that all these things should be met, then so be it. I don't know how we'd work the appeal, but that would have to certainly be decided by the committee.
why would we have to have an appeal if this is a black and white
Right.
rubric to get to, even to get to the scoring?
I think the goal was whatever we put out there is what we're going to decide that that's what's going to come to the committee. So I agree that there shouldn't have to be an appeal.
There
We as a
shouldn't-
committee have decided that this is what the requirements are before you being able to even submit your application, correct?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what, I was talking about with the clawback, if we do the guidelines correctly and, and people match the criteria, this is the criteria to apply. So I would agree with that.
What I meant by the
I agree
appeal
with you,
is
Sam.
I think it's clear that's the goal, but if you look at each one of these, there's no question that somebody could come back and say, well, that's not true. I don't have a tax lien, and here's why. So how are you going to, if it's yes, no, but it's still, there's still an interpretation possibly in any of these things, of why we said they failed, but they think they passed. I think the initial
Right thing. So we know, I mean, very clearly if someone has outstanding taxes, as an example.
Okay, I'm just
So-
trying to make sure the pendulum doesn't swing from where we had way too many people come here and we felt very awkward that they hadn't even approved to we go the other way where they all get rejected and people get upset about that and then they start arguing about each one of these things, whether they're really, I assume we're going to give them transparency, right? So we'll say why they failed and they might argue with you. So just giving you an out for an appeal if it's needs to come to the committee.
Is it clear on the application process that this is the initial process before you go to the next level of approval? Is that clear? That this is, you have to meet all this and then it'll be submitted?
It isn't now,
Okay.
right? This is more of a new establishment. I mean, there are requirements on that you should be meeting. Most of these are there, but it's not like a pass-fail. And to Fred's point, the staff used it as guidelines.
Sure.
But we didn't necessarily fail them or stop them from going to the next step because they didn't meet those.
Yeah, and I guess I'm making it so that we're all clear what the process will be so that we all understand that too. So I guess that my second question about that is, since, and this is only based on the past, and I'm asking for what you have done in the past, when someone initially filled it out, did you look at some of the maybe we didn't say pass fail, but when you brought it back saying you need this, this, and this, and then we can bring it forward, or you're not going to be able to go to the next level?
So I had lengthy conversations with everyone and, spoke about you don't have a location. Well,
Yep.
how do we maybe get around, not around it, but like
Yep.
in that case of the landscaper, he did rent a space for
Sure.
equipment, right? So I felt that was enough to bring it to the committee because it wasn't for me to decide that he didn't qualify. So, given that in the past, the qualifications.
Now we would, if we accept this now, we would just simply say, you don't qualify.
Well, I think one of the challenges that we've always had is sort of the fluidity and flexibility around the program. And that's why we get so many people here and there's a lot of sort of uncomfortable conversation. So I think what we were trying to establish, which makes sense to me, is there's a qualifications rubric, whatever, set of qualifications that staff looks at. If you don't qualify, I think one of the things we've always talked about is it's always been, I don't know if we have like specific deadlines. I can't remember. What's the deadline for this quarter? If you don't qualify on that date, then you don't qualify. And then if you need to cure any of those things to qualify for the next date, then you would qualify. And then all of the other things, it's do I qualify? And then the committee will consider my application and then am I awarded? So it's like qualification and then the basis of the award.
So again, if I may, so this is more stringent than we've been in the past.
Right.
Let's just to be clear, which is not, I'm not saying that's a problem or wrong. I just want to be clear on that. So at some point, I would suggest however you want to do it, but we should be clear on which items we're going to actually go forward with and make sure that we're all in agreement that whatever they are, and that if we're going to make modifications, we need to do that. so there's clear guidance to staff.
And I would like to hear from you. You're the staff that's going to be reviewing this, and if you're going to be in a situation where you're uncomfortable and unclear, then it's not going to work. So we need to also know which of these that you're seeing that you wouldn't be comfortable with or you're worried about. We could change language, we could get rid of it, but at that point, we're putting a lot of the filtering process on the staff, right? So
I
you
would
have
think
to
we're
be
making it
comfortable
easier
now.
for you if it's clear.
Well,
It could be
yeah.
easier, but it's also, putting you in the situation of
I think it'd be useful to just have us go through each one and we can discuss each one if you'd like. However you want to do that.
I think first
I agree with that.
I agree with
Oh,
that.
Shelby's,
if we can
Oh, okay.
agree that we need a qualification or disqualification before the application come to us, that will make our job easier.
Sure.
Instead of just do it in front of everybody, and sometimes it's not very convenient.
well, no,
So-
yeah, we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't bring so let me be clear on that. Once we, as a committee, decide on what the pass-fail will be, we wouldn't bring somebody in front of the committee if they fail any of these items. Unless you said, well, they can fail one or something. Just as
Yeah.
long as we're giving guidance, we wouldn't have that debate in front of the committee.
Yeah, most of the term and condition we have been added or modified. It's based on the experience we had the last few months from the people come here and ask for the full amount for their project. So we are here to help, but not to 100% support. I don't think it makes sense because if we 100% support, I think we just like marketing for the idea. It's free money. Come every year and take the money you need it. Just I don't think it's the right idea because we see the business come here every year.
Yep.
There is no way you need assistance every single year. So there is more business, I think, gonna be eligible for that. So we can go through everything. I think Sandy has some comments, and I think I can go by the comments, and I can just reply to the comments why we choose this one, and if we agree to one of them, yeah, we go ahead.
I think Shelby had comments. Shelby?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I do have some comments. It sounds like the next step is to go through the guidelines that are up on the screen. Is that the next step?
I believe so.
The ones
Okay.
highlighted in red. Yes. Yep.
Well, I think you need to go through
So-
all of them.
Yeah, I think we need to go through all of them. And my question before we do that is, so I have two questions. Are these guidelines or are these somehow related to the rubric scoring criteria?
Two different things.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yes, it's related to it, but because we didn't had the guideline for pass or fail before, so we take some of this term and condition, we make it first pass or fail before you go to the criteria. Because the criteria, the rubric we have before, it doesn't matter. Most of the people that come here or most of the business they apply, they pass. I didn't see any business fail because I don't think we was taking it more serious if we will fail business or we say no. We never say no. So that's why we take some of this condition and just make it more fail or pass.
Well, and if I may, Shelby, I'll answer that too. That one of the pass fails was you had to have a 3-year lease, I believe. So if we agree that that's a requirement, then that affects the rubric because right now, if you have a 3 or more year lease, you get points, but that kind of throws that out of the rubrics if we're going to make it a requirement.
Right.
Okay.
I think it should say multi-year, not 3.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is on the rubric, we could do we could give them points for if it's a 1, 3, or 5 year. So that was my thought. I think 3 years a lot.
Well, it needs to be clarified
So-
anyway because for instance, I had a 5-year lease and now I'm down to 2 and change or something, right? So is it a 5-year lease that I had, or is it how much term I have left? And
Or how
it's
long
not-
has you been here?
And it's not time to
Yeah.
renew that lease, so it's not really valid to discuss.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right.
That's a very good
Agreed.
point. Yep.
Yeah.
But conducting business here for a very long time. So yes.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe having an active lease, but
It just if it's a new business and the lease is only for 1 year, it's a bad sign because it looks like they will try for a year and they might stay or no. So I don't know if it's worth it to support this business. But the people been here for 5 years, and the lease will be expired soon. But we know that they've been here for 5 years, so we know that there is
Right, but that's
a
also-
long-term
That's
commitment.
mandated, yeah.
Your point is that this is for what we're looking at is for new business, not existing business right now.
Right.
So,
Right.
Well, the term of the lease is often determined by the landlord.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So I think your
So
point is.
can I finish my initial
Yes.
questions? Sorry, thank you. So my, I had some questions on the prior process screen, but before we get into these guidelines, I'm wondering if we need a member, a non-staff member, part of the EDC committee, also part of the review of these guidelines. And because we do have some voting members like Fred reviewing this, but we don't have a non-staff member. So that was one question I had. We don't have to answer that now. I just am putting that out there for a question. Thank you for changing.
I was thinking the same thing, Shelby, that we should have
Okay.
someone on the committee.
Okay, so that might be, so we can take action on that. Let's just parking lot that. On this improved tracking, thank you for changing the screen. Letter A, third bullet, the term underutilized, I don't know what that means. And who is determining that was my question. And what criteria? So if we don't have criteria around that, to me, it should be cleaner, vacant or new lease.
Yeah,
Or
I agree on that.
repurpose.
Yeah, we can do that. We just can take it off, keep it vacant on no lease.
Okay, yeah, and it could be, we could even, if someone doesn't, it's like a new lease, to me, that means we're repurposing the space with the new tenant, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right. And then under B, I like this concept of reporting. I'm not sure how practical it is from a business perspective and what we intend to do with it. And my suggestion is that the 6-month impact after a grant from a business perspective may not be felt. And so maybe just one, that being 9 months, allowing for a kind of more practical timeline for people to hire, see the impact of their changes and the benefit of the grant, and still allows the EDC to get that feedback within less than a 12-month period. That was my thought. I'm not sure where the 6 and 12-month feedback came in, so.
I mean, if it's gonna be more convenient, I don't mind. It's just the idea here, just to see the ROI. We need to see it at certain time. 9 month or 6 month. Yeah, I don't think it's for me. It doesn't gonna make a big difference. Yeah.
And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the 6 or 12. It was just kind of a suggestion of making it, I mean, I think the grant program is a great grant program. It's also, in the scheme of running a business, the amount that the town can give is modest through this program. So I'm trying to balance, we want people to apply with making it onerous on some sort of reporting timeframe. So on the 12-month reporting, again, under, or actually both on 6 and 12, community impact and contribution to local economy, we would need to give the grant recipients some context around what that is, because that's highly subjective, as a reporting it as a business. Like, what does that even mean? So again, we don't have to solve that, but I think we've got to clarify what that is. How do I know I've made a community impact or a contribution to the local economy?
Any of the reporting, in my opinion, is based on what the application asked for. Is it new jobs, depending upon what the grant's for? New jobs, new hires, based on whatever the grant application's for. I understand getting some feedback because we did award some money and having done a scholarship process. I get feedback from kids. So, and we don't award the money until we actually know that you completed your first semester of school. So there are some grants out there that only gives them a portion of the money based on some of the things they said they were going to do with it. So I think I kind of knew where you were going with this. And us as an economic development committee wants to know what the impact is. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So I agree that the information could be given to them. And by the way, do they email it to us or they come back report? I wasn't sure what that reporting process was. So that was opened up for me too. Is that a form that they fill out or they come back and they speak to us? What is something that I'm interested in knowing how we wanted to approach that?
Yeah, I think we should do a form, and if they don't submit it on time, ask Laura to follow up on it. I personally agree with Shelby as well that I think it's a management task to have 2 check-ins. I think 1 check-in should be fine, and I think nine months is probably appropriate. Just as a quick thought too, perhaps we could put a caveat in there that you agree to maybe give us a testimonial on how the grant program helped support your business, and perhaps we can use that as a marketing tool to encourage other people to apply. I still feel there's a lot of people that aren't aware we're offering this great program.
I think the goal was accountability.
And I also,
Yep.
I think when it comes to the ROI, we want to gather data, right? So we want to be able to show what impact this is having, this program is having for the community. So whether the community impact is you opened up a new restaurant or a new activity place or whatever, it's another, that's all positive impact for the community. So I think I really like the ROI piece, and however we do it is fine, 9 months, 12 months, whatever that looks like. I agree with Dave that there should be a form, and it would be great if they could come back and come in front of the committee to tell us how they did. Again, the town's looking for, people are looking to see what the town's able to do, and this is just one of those big highlights that really shows how much we are supporting businesses.
So the year in review is a great opportunity to say, through the amount of business assistance grants that we awarded, how many jobs were created, how many new business, all of those. That is like a newsletter, right? Annual report, highlight of the year. So I love the accountability part, and it shows that we're staying on top of that too. So I agree, in a form that's simple for them to fill out. So, yep.
So on the ROI metrics, then I would just say that, again, some of these are pretty clear. Others are far more objective. So I would change jobs created to new FTE growth. I think taxes paid is you're looking for a number there, right? So new tax revenue, is that right?
It's hard to calculate.
Is that the intent?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be both, that if you're leasing space, that's going to be more from a, correct me if I'm wrong, Christy, would be
She's not
more
here.
personal property, right?
Christy left, sorry. Shelby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wouldn't that be more personal property? Because if you're leasing a space, you're not paying taxes on that. The landlord is paying that.
So what I would suggest on those, Shelby, is that I can talk to the finance director once this committee's decided on some things and have
Yep.
a little bit of conversation and follow up on how that would physically happen or what we need to get for information.
Okay. Yep.
He'd be better served to answer that than I would be.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's just note that. And then on new commercial space activated, maybe new or square footage utilization. Like, so that's when Karen mentioned that about the year in review, it's like, hey, through this program, we brought online, 7,000 square feet of new business or something.
That's hard to quantify an ROI on activating space. I don't even think that's really an applicable metric. I really kind of feel like, jobs created, FTEs, like you said, or revenue, no one needs to tell you what their entire business sales are for the year, going back to Sandy's earlier comments. But you could say that, I got $5,000, I was able to generate an additional $15,000, in revenue because of that, because, based on the grant itself, what the use of funds was going to be, and that's a 300% return on your money, a 200% return.
All right, so I guess what's the best way, should we send, I mean, Laura is obviously taking notes here, but it seems like at least on both, we need a form and we need the process itself kind of to be mapped out, both for internal and applicants, as well as these ROIs need to be cleaned up, right? So that's an action item coming out of this?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, thank you for taking us back in the conversation. I'll stay on for a few more minutes before I have to jump over to executive session.
If we're going to review everything about the applications, which we've got new business and existing, right, to go through,
correct.
then it's almost 10 minutes to 9 here, I think. So I think we need to bring them up, and a lot of good comments today and feedback. But obviously, I don't know if we're going to finish this all today.
Yeah, I think the idea that Sandy would send all this to everybody and Sandy would receive the comments
Right.
individual, then we can discuss the comment in here instead of just to go through and hear everybody.
Okay.
It's going to take forever. It won't
It will
finish in
take
one.
forever.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah. I
So
think
you guys,
better we do
just
that.
to be clear though, I'm sorry, all the comments need to go to Laura. She's a non-voting member. They cannot go to Sandy.
That was the part I couldn't remember and kept me from writing comments, because I saw some
Yeah.
comments saying, don't comment here because it's not valid.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I kind of paused. So I think that would be helpful to reiterate that. Before we go
So-
off record though, too, one of the things I want to make sure we don't do from the applicant's perspective is waste their time. And we do have on the process of when they send us an application, we tell them save the date. And then I'm worried that we don't tell them they passed or failed with very little notice to when the actual meeting is. I just want to make sure that they have enough notice time of when we say, yes, you've been approved to go forward to the meeting to when the actual meeting is. It has to be at least a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's not
generally.
on here.
Yeah, generally it is. When you guys finally agree on things, then I will massage that first page.
Okay, just
I
to
just
make
put that
sure.
up there as sort of, that's what we currently do. That does not reflect any of these changes. By the way, so let's say October, November, December, applications are received. Generally, it's the first quarter of the month is when it's reviewed. So by December 15th or something, there's a cutoff along those lines so that there's time to review, to get information, to get the package together, et cetera. So there is always a little bit of time that everybody knows. When I said save the date, again, this was my first sort of draft at kind of what we do now, not what you guys are asking for changes about.
Yeah, I guess I'm just making sure that we factor that in so that if the deadlines are such that we also meet our deadlines for screening them so that they still have enough time to know whether that eventual meeting takes place for them or not.
Yeah, I generally
Just not
that's,
last minute.
So
it's not last minute for sure.
If I may on that too, so I'd have two suggestions. One is I would suggest we don't roll this out until July so that it gives the committee time to review these because we're going to have at least one more grant cycle. So I would say we time it out for July for the new fiscal year. So that would be one suggestion. And the other thing I would say is that I thought that was a great comment about having not only the finance director, myself, and Lara review those, but if we have somebody from the committee that's not one of us, that decision will be made when we review the application. So if their information's not there and they're not ready to present to the committee, then they'd be bumped to the next cycle or whatever. I think that's a valid concern on that. So that kind of answers both those. The other comment I'd have is I don't know exactly if everybody's going to send comments to Lara, that's fine. I don't know how you want her to take that, like list that comment under the item and then we review it the next meeting.
Yeah,
If that's the easiest way to
I
do
think
it.
that's the easiest.
Yeah, every comment that's made, in parentheses, she puts the name of the person that made the comment for us to all review in case there's any questions. And then we can go through each of them and then quickly go through everything that we see.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to read through these and the current comments that are made. And then everybody to forward everything to Laura and just parentheses under each section who made that comment so that we can go through these very quickly. A lot of good information was shared today and a lot of good updates. It's never an easy round to update a process. It just isn't.
A lot of good work, though. I
A lot of
appreciate-
good work.
I appreciate what you guys
Thank
are
you,
doing.
Dan and Esmond. I mean, a lot of good work
Thank
here.
you.
And to
But
the
it's
rest of the
better
committee.
we take our time because once we have this
Finalized.
yeah, it will be easier for everybody to follow.
I agree. A lot of good work when we initially put this together. So I think a lot of good work has been, a lot of good feedback, everyone. Thank you. But I know to go through all of this would,
It's fine.
that's a complete meeting on its own. So, yeah.
Well, and I do
Can
think,
I ask,
Go on.
oh, can I just ask a clarifying question? If there is a process that we have that wasn't part of the packet we received, both on the applicant side, like the form, as well as the internal side, that be shared for our homework coming out of this meeting? So beyond, if there's something beyond this, thank you, Laura, for pulling up steps 1 through 7. If there's something on the applicant side, if we could just get a link to the form and what they see, because to me, you gotta be able to kind of tie those together.
Well, I think that form is going to get created once we agree on this rubric. So the
Well, there
existing
is
doesn't
a
match
current,
this.
there is a current form, right? That people, is that what you mean, Shelby? The current one?
Yeah, right. So there's a current form. I think it would be helpful as we go through and give this a second once over individually before we send comments. Just, it would be helpful to me to see that form. What does the applicant get? If there's anything beyond what you're showing right now, steps 1 through 7, and on the internal side, also seeing that if that's what we have right now, and there's nothing else, that's fine too. But just kind of the whole package, what are we reviewing so we can kind of have a full lens?
do you understand what she's saying?
Sure. You guys good with that, or?
Yeah, as long as Laura understands what she's looking for, I'm okay. I guess we can get clarification too, Shelby, on that.
If there's any other information
Right.
that you see here that
Yeah.
should be included or that we're not aware of, I think.
You mean like copies of all my emails?
That's all I mean. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, so we're obviously not gonna close this item out today.
No.
No,
We've got to go back and review the guidelines, taking the input that was already provided today and this process and the metrics, the whatever that other page was. If there's any other information we have related to this process or the forms that are being used, I think we should get that all in one email so that we can look at it in totality.
You guys have been through this process a few times. Is there any changes you see here too? I think, from what I understand.
not
Okay.
really.
Okay. Internally, you've been through this process. Is there anything that you think should be added? I get her point on that. Maybe there's some stuff that you've been through on this process already. And Dan, I think it was your comment, when we do update this will change too.
Right,
This will change.
Right.
So I agree with that. So,
right. Yes, the process will change. Staff verification will change.
Yep.
That's inevitable, what we're talking about. That-
Yeah, that's never been formalized. This was
Right.
literally just what I put together for the record here, so you guys could understand what's happening behind the scenes.
Appreciate that.
But I mean the existing application, I think you can just review it online. I have been going back and forth between whatever we have right now and whatever I'm just changing.
That's good.
So if for a reference, if she wanna check the application, it's online. Yeah.
Yep. It's a good
But
point.
It'll change. Obviously, it'll change once
Yeah.
the committee decides on what we're going to do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Well, there's been a good layman's groundwork done here, and which is great. This has been an ongoing process for quite a few
Yes,
years.
since we started the
And that's
actual
all good
program,
because
yeah.
we learn a lot through the last couple of years and a lot of valid points made. So we're getting closer. So I think that's great. Any other points to be made about what needs to be forwarded to Laura for our next meeting so we can get closer to getting this process?
I know I've kind of monopolized this, and I
No,
apologize.
you have not. It's all good feedback. So,
I did want to commend Dan and Eslam.
yep.
The part of this started
Mostly
with
Islam.
yes,
Mostly him.
either way. Part of this started out really as the return on investment is critical that we get that because I've been questioned through Advisory Finance Committee, they're the ones that really push to find some kind of return on investment. We attempted that last year, and we'll keep that kind of this year, but going forward, this will be very helpful when going to that committee to get financing for the grant program.
I also think it's a great story for us to share as a
Exactly,
committee. It's
exactly.
accomplishments and
Yeah,
achievements and
yeah.
the value of the business assistance grant program.
Yeah.
And it's a story to tell. And
Success story, yeah. This
Agreed.
is it's gonna be very, very helpful.
if it's about economic development, this is what it is.
Exactly.
So
At least
I-
we show the people here in the town that this program is exist for really
Agreed.
helping the business, and yeah, you can see the result.
and to see a more variety of applicants, right?
Yeah,
So that more people come forward, which
yeah.
is a conundrum because we all want to give as much as we can, but it's a nice problem to have, is what I always say. So, yeah. Great job,
Thank you.
really. Okay. So it's almost 9 a.m. Is there any other comments? I think we know what we're doing next here.
Yep.
Great. Okay, then we will move on to the report from the planning department. Jenny?
Thank you. We have a planning board meeting tonight, and we will be, we have just continuances on a couple of projects that have been in front of the board already, on Turnpike, on Route 9 and Milk Street for the multifamily, and then 50 Flanders Road, which is a subdivision. We also received 2 new applications, which will be in February for 5 Technology Drive, which is a nonprofit provision ministry. They assemble, I think, care packages or something of the sorts, and they distribute them to those in need. And then there's also a new building that will be a fitness center for Westborough Swim and Tennis on Oak Street. So that will be coming in February also on the planning board agenda. We're working on the zoning still for downtown, so that should come back to the March town meeting. We're going to talk about it as a planning board tonight, and then the public hearing will be the first February meeting, so February 3rd will be the public hearing on that. We also have been working with a consultant on revisions to our sign bylaw. I don't know yet if that will be coming to the March town meeting. We'll talk about that tonight as a board, but we have some revisions there. And then also tonight, if you're interested in watching, we do have a company coming to us to propose changing the zoning to allow for a billboard on 495. So that will be coming to the planning board for us to hear what they're proposing for that zoning. And then lastly, in regard to the downtown, the Rotary aspect, which is totally separate from the zoning, I had talked to the board, this committee before, about a survey for the downtown businesses on parking. And so I do have that ready to go out. And if this committee can help in any way in distributing it or getting me good contacts, because one of the issues that we had even when we went door to door was that the property owner or the business owner is not always there. And so you're leaving the information with, someone else, and they're busy. It's hard to, get that information to the right person to fill out. So if you have any contacts, I can then reach out to that person directly, or you can distribute the survey directly. So I'll send that out. I'll send it to Laura, who can distribute it to the committee.
How far downtown, Jenny, when you say downtown? How far are we going?
It goes, well, technically the downtown business district, which is what we're thinking about downtown, goes to CVS, which is
Okay.
Water Street. So, I mean, we'd like to hear from everybody on this, just so we have their contact information, but really we're focusing on, what do you think about the parking, how it exists currently? Where do your employees park? So where does your employees, staff park? Where do your clients park? Do they walk from somewhere? Do you have a private lot? Just trying to understand the reality of how parking is utilized downtown. Because we do have a parking utilization study that shows there's plenty of parking, but we want to hear from the businesses on what's reality.
Okay.
So I can send that out. And if you can help identify, the right contacts for people, that would be really appreciated.
Okay, great.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay, Laura, that is up to you. You and Fred, I guess. Community Development EDC update.
Fred, do you have any anything to tell the committee?
I don't know what you're going to say.
What do you got, Fred?
I mean, Hyundai has started their construction on Route 9. You can see that going up. The other project on 220, I think it is, Jim Ball's building is started. If he's not started, he's in the midst of starting.
He started.
Yeah, so there's a couple projects that are starting to come forward, which is good. Good to see.
Great.
Okay. Can everyone see the screen? All right, so I just wanted to kind of quickly say the select board did keep the single tax rate. Thank you for everyone who advocated on that. Staff update for EDC awards. I just want to ask that somebody take a review of the proof. There's a few changes I've made. I just want double eyes on it.
I'm happy to look at it.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go through it. I had the EL Harvey tour. I just wanted to give a little update on that. A little update on the World Cup summer tourism planning, road trip to Westborough, and then new business announcements. So this is my sort of my early checklist for the EDC awards. So again, I have the Great Hall at 7. I'll change that to 6:30, Karen. I've sent save the dates to several groups, this group, also to our elected officials. So that had gone out a while ago, the save the dates for the EDC award, just so that they had that on their calendar. All the nominations have been contacted. Keynote speaker, confirm the nominations, confirm the keynote speaker as of Friday or whatever this was. This is a check mark. Got a quote for the awards, proof approval, that's here. Confirm the photographer. So the sponsors, Curry printing, initial preparation has been done, and communication to Westborough TV has all been done. This is, I would like to send out an invite a little differently this year. I will have the registration on the website. That's what this QR code is for. And, but I'd like in the email just to have sort of this one simple information piece. Generally, we've sent out a really long invitation with like every single piece of information on it. That would then be on our website that people would click to. But I'm happy to follow last year's. Also, if there's any information you want to be changed, let me know.
On that one, Lara, the only thing is you're going to be like a coffee hour from 7 or 7:30 to 8.
7:30 to 8, I think they do.
Do you want me to say like registration starting at 7:30? Something like that?
I don't think it hurts to put the schedule, which says 7:30 to 8, registration and networking.
Yeah.
Program 8, is it to 9?
Yeah, I have the schedule. I'll build that out a little bit more.
I will say the one thing is to put the keynote speaker on there.
Now I will, yes.
And her, if you can, her photo. I think that would be very important.
I would love to get that. I've asked
The only
twice
other
already.
changes for me, I love what you did here with the code, is to bullet what the highlights of the meeting instead of a description.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
awards given to 7 businesses, a highlight of our chief accomplishments from 2025. Just 3 or 4 bullets, but the whole purpose is amazing networking with business leaders from the community. You know, those are the kinds of things.
All right. All I'm going to send to you, and you can. I'll
Yep.
redo it per this,
Yep.
and then I'll have you look
Yep,
at it
we're
one more
happy
time.
to do as much coffee.
I'm
as
just
you can
saying
get.
that, if you tell somebody there's going to be like on the
Continental
network and
breakfast.
with coffee or whatever like that, then
Right.
they start to say, "Oh, I'll just have my breakfast there,"
Continental breakfast.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I will build that out a little bit. So my tour with EL Harvey, you can See my big old smile. I loved it. I was totally in my element. I think understanding the business aspect, this is a really critical business that we are so lucky to have in Westborough. Because one, I think from getting rid of our waste, not having to ship it to like Virginia or something really reduces our costs. Also, they employ over 100 employees. They have over 40 acres that they're paying taxes on. They have 8 working buildings that process food, construction, metals, plastic, household waste. And it's one of the last working sites in Massachusetts. So I really am very proud that they're here and thank them very much for their hospitality. And look forward to getting, just, I don't know. I would love to go back. Yes.
Do you think there's like, you say like, oh, there's 8 working, but there's some interesting facts here, but do you think there's some other things that maybe like people don't know? Because just saying you have trash, like most people are going to say, that's not great. But like, are there things that they're doing that are really interesting, leading edge, or something that we could kind of highlight for people about what they do? Or is it still very, very much what you think it is?
There was a little bit the way that like they're more of their construction waste, the way that they deal with that, how they really break it up, their machine, like basically the way that so it's almost like a single stream and then everything kind of gets separated through their machines. That's kind of cool.
That saves
But
a lot of waste. That saves a lot of landfill pollution.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm talking about, because as somebody who runs a business and has chemicals that come out, like places like this actually save the environment by
Yes.
doing those things, and you don't realize that. You're like, oh, I have this gross waste management.
yes.
So, that's the starting point, but what they're actually doing is really helping.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, thank you to Lila, who's our sustainability coordinator, for really staying on top of getting that scheduled for us.
She's the third one down on that, by the way, if you have never met her.
Yeah,
She's
that's
to the
her
left of
next to me
Lara.
with my hat. All right, so World Cup, I did, thanks to 495 Partnership, whose annual meeting was a couple weeks ago. I learned a lot more. I learned about the Massachusetts efforts of the World Cup. His name is Neil Doherty, Director of Government Relations for FIFA World Cup Boston. So we have like 310,000 hotel rooms that will be reserved for World Cup. Now, obviously, and we're expecting that all of ours in Westborough will be filled up. All rental cars in the state of Massachusetts will be taken. So if you have a wedding in June and you have guests coming in, you are going to have a problem. Over 1 billion eyes will be watching the matches. That's huge, right? What happens? I think he brought up how many eyes actually watch football games, and then he went to like whatever 300,000 or something, and then you went to 1 billion for soccer. So, and then figuring out how to move people from the hotels to Gillette Stadium is still their quandary. Yeah, I mean, there's public transportation and there are the rent-a-cars, right? But there's going to be a lot more going on. And so that's where they're at now. I am trying to get in touch with him, with Neil Doherty on this, but so far he has not responded to my emails. I will also say, if you have a business that is in event planning or waste management or several other event planning kind of iterations, they are actively looking for business inquiries for vendor opportunities. So I have that link if anyone watching or anyone's interested. Insurance. Yeah, so that was really interesting. So yes, here's contracting for services. So this link here, and then I'm happy to share it as well. So just quickly, match schedule, June 13th through July 9th. and you can see here, I won't go through it, but they're also renaming Gillette to Boston Stadium for this month and a half. Okay, so I've been trying to get Mass Office of Business Development and every other state agency who does economic development to consider Westborough for visiting for new business attraction. I got a opportunity to have some MOBD folks come to Westborough for a tour. Can I hear it?
No, I mean, that's pretty.
And so I would like to get this started. I think it should be planned for after our EDC awards in February. Couple of things that I really were thinking about. So 5 to 6 stops. So we'll need businesses themselves, larger businesses most likely. This is a listening tour, an opportunity for corporations and businesses to learn more about what's going on at the state level of economic development, and get a chance to really meet the town's economic development efforts as well. So I'm coming to the committee. What do you think? Do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to help? Feedback?
Is portion of the program to let them, for you to give them an update about what's available here, like open rental space, property that you want it filled? Is that part of that listening tour for them too?
Not really.
Because knowing
They'll,
Peter and Kevin, they talk about all the programs they have to incentivize business. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so that's more of what they talked about. We will.
They have a whole thing that they talk about, which they want an audience to talk about all the incentive programs that they have. Yes.
Right. And so, I mean, what in my mind, we are also reaching out to these businesses to let them know that we're here also for them. As far as, you mean like for business attraction, to fill in the office spaces and land and so forth?
When they're talking to different businesses that might be looking to expand or different places in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the listening tour really is, what are your growth plans? What are your challenges? How do we as a collective group support you, right, in Massachusetts?
Okay.
And I've been part of this in the past, not in Massachusetts, but in Texas. And it's been a very beneficial opportunity to really get to meet businesses that ordinarily don't get too involved at the town level. And I don't know, I'm excited about it. I think it's a great opportunity. So, but I'd love to, I will. So what happens? They've done this in Marlborough, and they offered to do it in Westborough, and so that's why I jumped on it. So, any other comments on this from anyone?
I think it's a great opportunity and something that we should do.
Thank you. Okay, here are my stats. New businesses in December. We have a beauty salon, a new owner for Fitness Together, Kashi Fashions and Tashik Jewelers opened up at 303 Turnpike. Building permits that we gave in December. Resinix, 115 Flanders. Proposed daycare at 1 Danya Drive, Chill Restaurant, Stretch Zone at 400 Union across from Mike, and Play Now, 30 Lyman Street, which is a 1 to 5-year-old little play space. No building purchases that I'm aware of. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. Okay. And I moved things around, so. Okay, 9:25 a.m. Any new business? Anybody? I will report that the date for Business Expo is April 14th this year, a little later because of the way Easter was following this year. And so that will be held at the Doubletree Hotel. Chamber's in the midst of promoting that, and that's the biggest show in this region with 1,000 attendees. So that's.
Are we going to try and have a booth from the EDC?
I don't know if they're going to do that this year.
Yeah,
Oh, the
maybe-
booth from the EDC, yeah, that's a good idea. For your consideration, okay?
Yeah.
This booth booth space, will be promoting that very soon to everybody. And any other reports, updates? Hearing no further business, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
Seconded? Do we need a vote? Yes.
Laban, yes.
Carol, yes.
Jingers, yes.
Chapman, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Leonardo, yes.
Scott?
Mayor, yes.
Dan?
Really, yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.